I knew I wanted to become a chef at the age of 12. At that time, growing up in South Boston, I thought I'd own a sub shop or a bar or a steak tip joint because there is one on every corner. So I did. I became a chef. And now I'm a grand chef. I don't know. What set me on that course was high school, a passion, a home ec class, that basic life skill, cooking. It was taught in high school. It became a lifelong learning experience for me. Now, how many of you are chefs? Oh, come on. Okay, so I know you're not chefs. I get it. Like, cooking can be intimidating. It can be frightening. When I started, I knew nothing. Nothing. In fact, the first time I made dinner was for a friend in South Boston. She was 13. And she was just going into AA. So I couldn't, I couldn't hang out and drink beer. We couldn't go and play poker or do something crazy. So I decided to make sauce. I was reading about a pesto sauce. Basil back then was extremely exotic. So I went to the North End. And I found basil, I found olive oil, I found garlic, and I got to the pine nuts. And I was like, shit, those are expensive. So I put them in my pocket, and I'm like, all right, taking them. I'm going to make this dinner. But I did. I went back to the store years later, told the story, and paid them back. So I got home, I made pasta, and I made this sauce. My friends were like, what is this green stuff? I'm like, shut up and eat it. What, does everything have to be green, even St. Patrick's Day, et cetera, et cetera? And they loved it. You know what? They sat there, they ate it, they loved it. And that made me happy, feeding people. Feeding and giving them nutrients and just making them happy. That is a drug that gets me high. And I'm still on that high. All right, I'd like to share a little bit about myself. I'm going to go back 25 years ago when I was born. I was born and raised just about 10 minutes from here, Mary Ellen McCormick Housing Project in South Boston. I was the youngest of 7 children. My father died a month before I was born, and my mother worked 3 to 4 jobs to keep us off welfare. And this was all during the busing crisis in Boston. And I got shipped to Madison Park High School in Roxbury. This was a very chaotic time to be a student, especially for a person like me. 0 interest in academics and 0 discipline. But luckily, I had a home ec teacher. Oh my God, she believed in me, and she convinced my guidance counselor to let her take cooking for 4 years. It was only supposed to be 1. Keep her in there. This will keep her in school. And he said yes. That school had an incredible program. It was basically like a restaurant. You cook 1 week, and then you can wait on the faculty members the following week, which I refused. I found I was much happier in the kitchen, and that's where I was staying. But you know what? This was the first time, when I saw clean plates come back, this was the first time I felt good about myself in school. I stayed in school 4 years. Didn't graduate, but I did stay. I still needed that 1 point, and I was like, summertime, I got things to do. But you know what? Most importantly, I learned a life skill that became a passion and a career and just a way out of the projects. This saved my life. Oh my God, today is such a different world. Food is sexy, right? It's beautiful, it's glossy, it's glamour, it's hip. It's cool to be on television. These images, they're so beautiful, but yet they're so intimidating. And it makes cooking inaccessible to most. I love the fact that we're all getting back into the kitchen, or that we're thinking about getting back into the kitchen, but how many people really cook? Who cooks? It's still not enough. Oh, I see a huge gap here. I see a huge gap in basic cooking skills and just the understanding of cooking. I see a huge divide between food and entertainment. I see a huge, I just see it's just not part of our daily lives anymore, and that is kind of frightening sometimes. We can all start cooking today. You can make this part of your living. It is so easy. It takes 3 ingredients, or 4. Very, very simple. You know what? You have this awesome piece of equipment in your home. It's called an oven. Learn how to use it. I have a friend who has an oven. She's a beautiful kitchen. I opened up the oven. It's her file cabinet. Oh, man. I was like, oh, my God. I tell my chefs every day, and my line cooks, treat your stove like a piano. You need to tune it up. You need to know it. You need to take care of it. And you need to use it. Always start with a sharp knife. You'll cut your fingers less. And you're going to be more productive, definitely. How many of you know what mise en place means? Awesome. I had no idea what that meant when I started cooking. Couldn't even pronounce it. But it means organized, to put in place, to get organized. Basically, the French came up with this term so that you are prepared to cook, so that you don't have to run around and go into the fridge and forget that main ingredient or call your neighbor. Because you know what? That's exhausting. No wonder why people hate cooking now. That's just too much work. And I get it, because you know what? We're all busy. It takes too much time. I was a shortcut kid. Why go to driving school when I can steal an MBTA bus and learn how to drive? Right? Cooking is not age-specific or gender-specific. It actually brings families together. Everyone can and should cook in the kitchen. It shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be one more thing to outsource. So, our default enjoyment usually is to go out to eat, but my hope is for you to get back into the kitchen. What if date night didn't involve securing a restaurant or wondering if they have valet, or are they vegetarian? Is it super expensive? Can I get a babysitter? But instead, you and your partner opened up some wine, and you took your sharp knives, and you started to chop. Or you might make gnocchi or pasta or roasted chicken. I know, I'm a restaurant owner. You know, I'd love you to come out to eat every night, please, but I am urging you to stay home and cook. You might be thinking, I have no idea how to make gnocchi. I don't know how to make a chicken. It's going to come out dry. That's why we're going to go back to the basics. This is the best book I've come across. I mean, I have thousands of cookbooks. I'm a food porn. I love looking at photos. Ugh, I love it. But this is the book I go back to. This is the building blocks. This is where the essentials come in. Onion, celery, carrots, brunoise, sauté. This is what got me, and this still gets me to this day, gets me inspired to kind of simplify and get back to the basics. This is not food porn in here. And you can't count on cookbooks all the time, and you cannot count on recipes to work. The only thing you're going to count on is getting back to the basics and learning. Most schools all home ec classes are pretty much out of here. You know what? We're going to deny a generation from having access to learning the basic skills of life. This is very important. Many of us didn't grow up on a farm or with parents that actually teach you how to make bread from scratch. I certainly didn't. But by learning the basics, it's going to become possible to prepare easy, wonderful, delicious meals. And the wonderful thing about cooking is that the kitchen's an awesome playground. It's a place for you to experiment, to love, to take those risks, to push the button, to push the envelope. What's going to happen? You're still, if it sucks, you're going to eat it. You're still going to eat it. God, I mean, after 25 years of professionally cooking, I blew up a pig. How easy? A 250-pound pig. I blew it up. I've destroyed cakes. I've sunk soufflés. I mean, you know, what happens after that, though? It gives you the courage to continue, to take risks. Push that envelope. I'm still doing it. I'm still trying new things, and I'm still creating. Right now, we live in a country where obesity is edging out food insecurity. Too many of us don't even have access to fresh food. Whole foods, where all the sexiness and the eating and the organic is just beautiful, and celebrity chefs, my God, there's a lot of them. But too many of us still do not know how to shop or prepare for meals and make it nutritious. I've battled weight my whole life. Maybe some of you have too. But in order to feel good and to feel healthy, cooking has been a journey, and it's been a lifelong journey for me, and it's been wonderful. You know what? I actually know how empowering it can be to cook, to transform basic ingredients into something so beautiful and satiating. Take flour, for instance. You can have flour, you can have egg and water. And you mix that up, and you can make pasta. You can make it as thin as you want or as thick as you want, but you have control. By learning how to cook and to understand how impactful that's going to be on your eating decisions and what it's going to do to your health, a lot of other problems are going to get solved. You can save money. When you know how to shop and plan for meals and utilize the leftovers, you cut down on waste, you're buying whole foods. Forget the convenience aisles and the packaged foods, please. You're going to save time. You're going to learn how to plan better. You're going to learn the basics, and you're going to be able to assemble 15 meals in 15 to 20 minutes, just as much time as it takes you to get out to get takeout food or to even get to a restaurant. You're going to connect with your family more. I have an 8-year-old, and when I'm home and I'm cooking, and I usually cook a lot on Sunday for the week, and she's always coming down and she wants to help grate cheese. She wants to use the microplane. She wants to peel carrots. She wants to put the lentils in the soup pot. Now she's eating lentil soup. I got her out of the mac and cheese stage. That is amazing. And I get quality time with her, even if it's 15, 20 minutes. So we are what we eat. We have to accept it. But eating right can give you tons of energy. It can cure you. It'll help cut down on diabetes or cholesterol. It can improve your mood. I think we have packets. Are we supposed to pass? I want to give you a second, and then we're going to pass around some stuff, and I'm going to have you open it. Pretty much all at the same time. I hear happiness. You must be hungry by now too, right? Woo. Okay, are you happy? Yeah. Basil. What do you think about it? I think about tomatoes and garlic and basil and summertime and happiness. Happy, happy, happy. Basil, they've actually done studies where basil is a mood lifter, like St. John's wort. A lot of this in your diet, you're going to be very happy. So I've been playing and I've been testing and I've been in this kitchen I've been in a kitchen for 25 years. The fact that that home ec class set me on my path of opportunity, of personal satisfaction, of hope, but most of all, discipline. So if I can leave you with one thing today, it's about thinking about the basics, your life skills. We've undervalued their importance in schools, and it's so disappointing that home ec classes have virtually disappeared. These skills have real value in our world. Please remember that. So, in keeping with the terms of the Back to the Basics, my team and I have prepared a few items for you. So as you're leaving, you're going to have a tomato tartare, you're going to have a tomato consommé, and then you're going to have tomato jelly. Tomato, 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 right? Basically, that is to inspire you to go home, to cook, to have fun with your family, drink wine, and enjoy it. Thank you.